So good morning everybody, and I want to give a special shout out to Paula. Happy birthday, Paula. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you make good money today, and don't spend too much time in the trading room today. Make that fast money, and then go enjoy your birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Paula.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's kick it off. And for everyone on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. This is our pre-market analysis of day 2 of 2021. All eyes is on Georgia today and the Georgia elections. Yesterday in pre-market and during the day, Taj and I were telling everyone in the trading room that the Georgia elections is really kind of at top of mind for Wall Street. And it's not like I have a insider information or anything. Just turn on the TV, read the articles, read the research that we're posting here in the community. That is the tone and the tune that everyone is singing. And the reason why, once again, if the Democrats win and if they take the control of the Senate, you're going to have the Democrats control the executive branch and the Congress. And there is a strong likelihood that they could increase taxes, specifically capital gains. And for capital gains taxes, that directly impacts institutional investors. So you had people on CNBC this morning literally telling people that you should have sold your stock in December. I mean, I think the cry to sell stock this morning is pretty loud. And yesterday, obviously, I'm looking at my at the Nasdaq yesterday. You had the markets gapping up. You know, the Qs were at 315. You know, opened up around that dollar amount and came all the way down to 305. I mean, this was a pretty nice sell-off. We were able to capture the short yesterday. I shorted the Russell 2000 and the Nasdaq in several occasions. Made some good money there. Today, it's possible that we can get more sell-off. I think at this point, we just got to play the charts, play the key levels that we're seeing. So that leads me to transition to the first several names that I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be watching the overall indices. The indices can move pretty dramatically if the overall market is participating in that move and the broad range of stocks. So for instance, IWM is the Russell 2000. It actually broke a bear flag. So it broke the 192.80 level and it's kind of hovering right below it. So at the moment, if it breaks below 192.52, you can go short it. You're gonna have to put, if you want to keep your stops tight, put your stops at 192.80. If you want to give it a little bit more room, put your stops at 193.30. I am going to be watching the Russell 2000 because if the thesis does play out where taxes are going to increase, obviously it's going to impact all sizes of corporations, but small caps are definitely going to feel the pain from that. So I'm going to just keep an eye in general on the SPY, the IWM, and the Qs, the NASDAQ. Because if the acceleration of the move occurs, we're going to have a nice sell-off, or maybe even a recovery. I do think there's going to be a little bit more sell-off because look at the VIX. The VIX is at 28.49. Yesterday's high on the VIX was 29.19. If we break that high of yesterday, I do anticipate more sell-off. As a matter of fact, if you are set up to play options, you can play the VIX. You can buy 30 calls on VIX if you want, and you know buy it out 2 weeks expiration, 1 month expiration, and you can even play the VIX. So those are 4 easy names that we can play and make really fast money with, and kind of be done with the day very quickly. Now, obviously, I'm looking at some key names. So Micron, I like Micron. It's gapping up. It's in the bull flag formation. The bottom of the bull flag is 76.19. Pre-market high is 77. This name got a lot of price target upgrades. If you guys take a look at the research section in the community, you'll see that Micron got some really nice upgrades. So I got an $83 price target from RBC Capital, 85 from Deutsche Bank, and 100 from Citi. So Micron is clearly a strong name this morning. not only because of the gap up, because of the price target upgrades. We did have a nice run on it yesterday. Yesterday we did play it. The high was 78.60. We actually played it at this exact same level when it broke above 77. So for me personally, it's going to be the exact same play. If we break above 77, go long. Now, if the market starts to sell off, it doesn't matter if these price target upgrades, were issued, because if there's a lot of selling pressure in the market, this thing is going to sell off, just like AMD and Nvidia yesterday. You guys remember those charts, right? AMD and Nvidia were super strong, and they just gave it all out. So just be careful with your longs today, especially if the market sells off. Flip the trade, go short, right? Another name is QS. QS has been beaten down. Yesterday it lost 40% of its value. The CEO of QS came on CNBC and told everybody nothing fundamentally has changed. So this extreme volume and this extreme sell-off is actually quite interesting. So I like it because there's clearly a lot of activity going on with QS, and a lot of traders are involved in this name. And remember, with day trading, you want to be involved with where the highest amount of volatility and the amount of volume is being traded. So with that being said, I like QS, and I'm going to be trading this name. So at the moment, it did hit a low pre-market of 45.51. I did create a neckline here at 47. It did break above that neckline. So at the moment, I'm just going to kind of wait and see what the next setup is. Maybe we can get, if it does want to rally, I'd have to wait for another bull flag breakout. But some key levels that we're going to look at is 48.30 up, and literally there it goes, right as I marked my chart. So 48.30 is a key level, and then if it could break above $49, then this is going to have a nice little recovery. Probably just a relief recovery from the immense sell-off I had yesterday. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one. This is going to be one of my A-list stocks. Of course, I'm going to keep an eye on Tesla and Apple. You guys know that. Every single day I watch these two names because they're just so easy to trade and so much fun to trade. So many people trade them. So let's just play where the herd is at, right? On Tesla, with the formation right now, it's bear flagging. If it breaks below 721.50, I'm shorting it. You're going to have to put your stops at 725.28. So that is about a 4-point range. However, that's the setup that I see. If it breaks above 725.28, you can go long and probably put your stops. If you want to keep it tight, 723. But you would probably have to put it at the low of the pre-market low, 721.53. With Apple right now, the way I see it, if it sells off and breaks below 128.40, I'm going to short it. If it rallies and pushes above 128.80, you can go long, put your stops at 128.50. It's a 30-cent risk on Apple with the current setup. I like Apple. So Apple's pretty cool. One other name that I like is NIO. NIO had a great day yesterday, and look at today. Just selling off from pre-market. I tried finding some news on it. Couldn't really find anything. So all I know is that there's some good volume, good volatility, and there's range in the stock. So I like it. So right now it did set a bottom pre-market at 51.53, and it did break above the neckline of $52. So it's trading above that. The next level to break above, I think, would be 52.50. So I would want to see if NIO has some momentum to recover. But if it does sell off and break below like 51.70 and change, like in that area, you could possibly look to short it if the sell-off continues and put your stops at 52. So I'm just talking about the two different, ways that can be traded, right? Whether it recovers or whether it continues to sell off. So that's what I'm looking at here. One other name, Fubo. I had Fubo in pre-market, watching it like a hawk. It was setting up a nice bull flag. I had the top at 26.42. The bottom was 25.90. And look at what happened literally at 8.52. They issued out some guidance, and huge volume came up, and the stock popped literally 2 points right in my face as I was staring at it. And I don't trade in pre-market. That's just a personal rule of mine. But nonetheless, we've had this pop. So with the current setup, the way I see it, we have pre-market high of 28.80. And what I would do is if this is going to continue to recover, we can go long it, but we're going to have to put our stops at like 27.58. Let me see. Yeah, we're going to have to probably put our stops at 27.58 and bet for a push above the pre-market highs. If it's going to trade above the pre-market highs, which it's like literally going to do right now, I think this stock can probably trade to $30. So I'm looking at the time. Let me allow Taj to give him enough time to go over his stocks. But those are the names that I'm going to be watching. My A list: Apple, Tesla. I'm going to look at the S&P 500. So the SPY, Fubo, NEO, and Boeing. I like Boeing because of the news that came out with Amazon. Amazon's going to buy about 11 aircrafts from Boeing. So, Taj, let me pass it on to you, brother.
And here goes Fubo. Fubo's literally like 20 cents away from its high. So, you were talking about the, bull flag that you were waiting for earlier,
Yep.
right here as it broke above 26.70. Well, I was waiting for this bull flag.
Yep.
Right here. So hopefully we don't have the break here. So I really like Fubo. I agree. I think Fubo has been your classic pump and dump.
Mm-hmm.
You had the stock pretty much run mid-December from about $26 up to $62, which, we were mentioning, hey, this is getting pretty extended. I think the RSI was at, 92? A little above 92.
Yeah.
But now it's just pulled so heavily. It gave back everything it gained over those few days. So there's going to be a point where you have a relief bounce. You start seeing some short sells cover. Maybe some new buyers come in, feel comfortable buying at the support zone, which I believe was around like $25, $24.
Right.
So maybe we get the relief bounce. And sometimes relief bounces can turn into rallies. So I think Fubo would be an excellent name to watch today. Hopefully we don't have this breakout occur. It's literally like 15 cents away.
Yeah.
Hold off, Fubo. Hold off. Other than that, I really do like Micron as well. My list is going to be very, very similar to yours. Just one or two names will be added to it. But I really do like Micron, especially if the market bounces.
Yeah.
Out of the gates, we start getting some momentum with the SPYs, the Qs. It really wants to rally. I think Micron is going to be one of the best names to trade because it's also compiled. It also has good news along with it as well, with all these price target upgrades. So if you start seeing some strength in the market, definitely keep your eyes on Micron. I think that's going to be one of the better opportunities that we have in the market,
Right.
Specifically in the bigger names. It did have a pretty heavy sell-off out of that high that it hit yesterday. And hey, we played Micron yesterday. We took our longs right here at 77, sold around 78.
Right.
It went up to 78.60, and look what happened. I mean, it pulled a Boeing. So
Pulled a Boeing.
Let's see if maybe we can get back up there and test those highs with these analysts giving the price target upgrades. Along with that, a couple of names I'll add in. One was Facebook. So if I remember correctly, I believe Facebook had an upgrade. Yeah, Morgan Stanley raises price target to 340 from 315. So here's the thing about Facebook. It's been stuck in a range for I don't know how long, for about 3 months, and it needs to break out. And if you just look over the past month, it's been an extremely tight range.
Yeah.
Right? You've had a range about 264.50 up to about 281.30 or 281. So it's in a really, really tight range. So whenever we get that move on Facebook, kind of similar to Apple, when Apple had that breakout move out of its consolidation. Here, I'll bring up a chart really quick of Apple. Apple was stuck between a range as well of about here and here. And once we had that move, we were able to capture some nice gains off of Apple, off of the break.
Yep.
So I just really want to see if Facebook can have that momentum. It's being traded very lightly, even with the price target upgrades, which is pretty surprising. But that may just have something to do with the selling pressure that the market's having. But nonetheless, I just want to keep an eye on Facebook. It's kind of going to be on my B list for the most part. But let's just keep an eye on it, especially if the market starts to pick up some momentum. Another name I want to keep an eye on is a name that we traded yesterday, LI. So I think EVs are going to be the story again today. You know, we had a lot of momentum with those names yesterday. There was a lot of selling during the pre-market, specifically with NIO, LI, same with Tesla. A lot of these stocks gave back some of the gains during the pre-market hours that we're seeing now. However, let's keep in mind that overall, it's still pretty strong, right? It's not too bad of a gap down. LI is gapping down, 50 cents. NIO is gapping down a little more. NIO's about $2. But, for me, I see LI as if we want to play long, I think LI is going to be one of the names to go to. And it's being it's pretty active during the pre-market session. So I just want to keep an eye on it. It's actually setting up for a potential short. You're having a bear flag set up here. Oh, here's about to trigger.
Yep.
But let's see. Hey, if it wants to give back its gains, we'll play it short. If it has some, support at some of the levels I watched, 31.20 seems to be a pretty strong level. But after that, next level is around 29.60. So let's see what it wants to do right here during pre-market and how it performs right out of the gates. So that's another name, and of course Apple. We got to keep an eye on Apple. The market is going to probably have some big moves today. I mean, yesterday was an insane day for the selling pressure that it had. I mean, if you look at Apple, we'll bring this up again. Apple, we were calling it, to take the profits up here around 138, 139 level. And look what happened now. You had to pull back all the way down to its 20 MA. Now, here's the good news. Apple is coming into support off of its moving average. However, it needs to prove itself, right? It needs to actually bounce off of the support level. If Apple gives up this support, pretty much the low that it put in yesterday around 126.76. After that, there's really no support until around 123.5. So there could be more move to the downside if the market starts picking up steam. If news starts coming about Georgia and how that election's going. So let's keep an eye on it. Apple's definitely going to be one of the names at the top of my list.
Yep.
And I agree with Alex as well. Just watch the overall indices. That's going to give you a real gauge of which stock, what the overall market wants to do, right? So keeping in mind, the SPYs, the NASDAQ, if you see the market has strength, go to those names that have strong setups, right? Your Microns, potentially, maybe an Apple because it's bouncing off of a key, indicator. Play those names for potential longs if you don't want to play the overall indices. And then shorts, same thing. Play the names that are a little weaker. Apple's in that same boat. If it's able to break that low of 126.70, Apple could come, like I said, right down to that 123.5 level. That's $3 of pretty much free space that you have down there. So from there, we just have to watch level 2 and make sure that we're aware of the support levels through that. So yeah, that's pretty much my list. My number one, my A list is gonna be Micron, along with LI, and then I'm also really liking the Fubo setup that we have here. So what's nice is Fubo actually didn't trigger the bull flag, so we may get our opportunity to play it long if it wants to trigger for us.
Exactly.
So good thing that didn't happen. And then my B list is going to be the Facebook. I'm also just going to keep an eye on Baba as well. I think Baba's in a very interesting spot from a technical perspective. You're kind of in this gap window that it had here. You have quite a few gap windows on Baba. You have one here back on the 23rd and another here on the 28th. So I just want to keep an eye on it to see which direction it wants to go today. I think today is going to be a very important day for Baba to see over the short term which direction the stock's going to go, because it's in the middle of the bounce that it had from that key support level around 211. So yeah, that's also going to be on my B list, along with just the overall indices. So That's pretty much it for my list, guys. Let's do what we did yesterday. Let's keep it. Let's get some base hits, get some green on the board, and if we're feeling good, then maybe we can take a bigger swing later on.
Yeah, exactly. Start off the day making those base hits. Once you've got your base hits and once you hit your daily goal, then we can, take a little bit more aggressive trades, and make those stretch goals, right? Taj and I are gonna be preaching that a lot, and we're gonna try to preach that every single day throughout the year. Focus on that daily goal that you need to hit. Don't try to be a millionaire in one day, right? Let's think about the long-term prospects of what the stock market can do for us financially, right? So with that being said, guys, let's trade well today. Don't overtrade. Don't take bigger bets than you can handle. Remember, risk management is key to survival. And with that being said, everyone on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Follow us on our social media platforms, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right.